Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome to any replay viewers. I'm glad to have you here. My name is, I'll bring it up really quick. My name is, there it is, my product sign. My name is Kathy Grillo. And you can follow me on Facebook, which that's like my more personal page. It's just my regular page. Hello, Constant Decay. Do I know your real name? You follow me on Instagram and Periscope. Oh, it's Chad. I'm still learning everybody's Periscope names compared to the real names. So, I'm taking a break from the drawing today, and I am going to play around and just experiment with some of the mediums and brushes that are in Corel Painter today, just to kind of explore. Yeah, I know, there's so many too. I'm still trying to learn everybody. But I kind of just wanted to explore what else, what kind of mediums I can play with, what they do, because I don't even know what they all do. So, I'm going to bring up a new page here, and we'll play around, have some fun. It's like a big old let ourselves loose in an art store. That's what I'm going for here. I'm going to try to tilt this up so you can see what I'm selecting. Alright. So, the trick here is to not have it fall backwards. Alright. So, we're going to go to this acrylics. I already have a couple of opposing colors set up, so. And let's try this gel wash and see what it does. Alright, so I'm just gonna go across the page. Oh, make sure the opacity's up on all these so we can see the true 100%. Okay, so that looks pretty cool, and it's a little clear and real smooth. Soft edge. Let's see if the colors blend. Yes, you can. It's hard for you to see, but you could sort of see the colors underneath with this. So like it'll go from the one color to the other and blend. And the color will build up. So that's good to know. Like, see how it goes? And if it goes lighter, and if it crosses the other medium, it'll blend with that color. So that's good to know. Now this is a detail brush, which probably should be a smaller. Oh yeah, see, this is a little, I don't know how, it's real jittery. But I guess I don't know what I would use that for. It looks like a little hard to control, and it would take a really long time to like build up a color. I'm trying to watch for if you have any comments or questions. Just let me know. I'll try to accommodate them on what you might want to see. Alright, this is a captured bristle 2. I don't even know what this does. Oh. Alright, it's like a smaller bristle thing. So this is what I need to like kind of do, because I don't know, like okay, so this blends a little bit. You can kind of see that. And builds up the color too. I'm just kind of playing around, because when you have something in mind that you want to create, if you do not know how your brushes are going to react or what it's going to be, you're not going to be able to have the picture in your head, you know. Alright, this is a glazing acrylic, and so it has like, so this is the exact same color as the other stuff, but I guess it has like a glaze in it, so it's a little lighter. It's like it has white in it, but it does make it pretty transparent. So that's kind of cool. Once again, that builds up colors. Like if I just layer it on. Okay. So what are you doing today, Are you working on anything? This is a rake. Oh, okay. So it makes this little rake design, or like little patterns of dots. That's kind of cool. So I'm trying to teach myself this program. Alright, so you can kind of see through. And it builds up, like just like I'm scraping on paint on top of each other. It's kind of cool. Yeah, on the tip of this, I can have one brush that, yes, I can add one brush to this end, and I could put another brush on this end. Sometimes it happens by mistake still for me. I don't tend to do that too much. And then there's like this switch that I don't know how to do that yet. I haven't got to the manual. See this little like button thing here? I don't know. I'm trying to show it in this light. Hi, thanks. There's like this button here. Oh, see? There you go. I find excuses all the time, especially not to clean. But like if I hit it one way, it does something sometimes, and if I hit it another way, it does something else. So I'm still learning all about those settings. But, you know, that's the boring details. I like to play around better. But, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Here's just an acrylic, opaque acrylic. You could see up here in the corner, this is the brush I'm using. So, yeah, well, I still find like trial and error as I'm doing things because I have not like experimented with everything. Okay, so this is pretty much a solid color. You can't see, it doesn't show through the color below it. It'll just go right on top. But you know, because I don't have the patience. So today I said, oh, I'm going to work through some of this manual, and I just happened to be on all the brush variants. So I said, oh, I'm going to play with them. Somebody else might want to figure out what this, you know, what digital does. All right, this is a detail brush. I have all the brushes are set right now to a pretty large size because I wanted you to be able to see them. And I have the colors set at 100%. So within all these, see, like if I came in and put my opacity down, you can vary all that. But let's see. And this is a smooth brush. Well, that's real light. You can see that's kind of a little light, jittery brush. And like I said, Stephanie or Chad, if you guys have any questions or there's something that you want to see, just kind of try to give me a shout out. If I don't see it right away, say it again. Because I'm really, you know, if there's something you want me to try to do, willing to do that. Okay, a real dry flat. See, some of these things, it's like, I'm not quite sure what it's going to do. And it does. Okay, over here, you have a stroke preview panel. And so it's sort of supposed to show you what the brush will look like. Let's see if it does. It kind of does. But in the brush preview, it will not tell you how it reacts to other paints. Because some of these brushes will react to the paint that is... Oh, well, I love it. Come along on the ride with me. But some of these paints will react to the paint that's below it, and some don't. So that's what I'm saying. Like I kind of don't know what all this stuff does. And when you're trying to think of what you might want to do, if you don't know what is going to give you what effect, how are you supposed to figure out what you might want to do? Alright, this one's kind of nice. This one has like a nice brush stroke to it. And when you go, I love the pressure sensitive pen I have, because if I go light, and then the harder I press, it goes darker. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So I mean, it's like if you don't press hard, it's light. Oh, and this one blends. See, this one is like sort of playing with the color when I go over it, and I'll get a different color out of it. Alright, so that's kind of cool. And I try to give some contrasting colors so you can kind of see the strokes here. I hope it shows up okay. A speckled wet and dry. Not quite sure, huh? This, it's just really light. I don't really see a speckle, but it's very light. Oh, and it builds up the colors. So let's see. Yeah, and it plays with the colors below it. So that's like a nice... So you could just smear it. I like that one. I have to remember that one. A thick bristle. Let's see, I'm running out of room on this paper. I'm trying not to use. Well, the thick bristle isn't very thick. And this is a pretty big size. Okay. See, it's just like if it's a real bristly brush and you don't have a whole lot of paint on it. Like you're just going to scratch away or something. Don't know what I would do with that one. And here's a detail. Guess this is supposed to be like if you wetted the acrylic. No. Alright, it's pretty soft. Oh, switch my color. Switch colors. But as you can see, it doesn't really play with the color underneath it. Maybe a little bit. Oh, well, because the opacity is low. But it'll just kind of, yeah, you don't really, it's not smearing anything. It's just laying right on top of it. Alright. So let's get a new one. Okay, I want to move this over. I'm moving it over so you guys can have the better view. I'm sort of working around here. Alright, let's look at, this is called Artist Favorites. I think it's supposed to give you like famous artists sort of. Well, I think I have to use this on paint. See, if I go on here and it doesn't do anything, that means that it doesn't have any color specifically assigned to it unless it interacts with something else. So let's try this. Yeah, there's some brushes that don't have any paint with them. They react to paint you already put down. So it's like if you painted something and then you took one of these brushes and put it on top of it, it changes what you already painted. So let's see, this is called an Impressionist blender. Well, I don't know if you could see that. It almost looks like Monet, little dots. Very subtle change color. That's a different color. But yeah, it almost looks like water lily painting. And then let's try this one. I think this is going to be the same one, but not as light. Yeah. So the slower I go, the bigger the dots. And they smear if I go faster or harder. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. And then here's the blue. See, if I press really hard, it goes dark. If I go light, it's light. Okay, let's see if this glow pen does something to this. Oh, hi, Tom. We're playing around. Yeah, see, the glow just kind of like, it's like a blender type thing. Alright, this is we're just going through I'm just seeing what all these brushes do, because I'm going through my manual. This is supposed to be a Sargent brush, so it's supposed to be like the artist. So that goes. Oh, look at it. If I'm not pressing hard, it's a thin line. And if I press hard, it's a fat line. So that's pretty cool. And let's see. Yeah, like this is very light, and then this is me pressing hard, and it's sort of blending. It'll blend. As you see, it'll blend the color. So that's kind of cool. And then this is a scratch tool. Let's see what this does. And I just think you could go really small with this too, depending on the size. Okay. So then if we take this glow one, oh no, I want the glow. Let's play it in here. See, there's what the glow does. You can see this, the one that, see when you couldn't see it on the paper, because it has no ink to it. But if I put it over paint, you can see what it does. So that's kind of cool. Alright. Next category. Well, we're going to get to the watercolors pretty soon, Tom. And there is a salt setting in there. I want to try to, actually, let's jump to that. I'm on artist oils, so I just don't want you to run out of time. So I want to make sure I can do the watercolors with you, Tom, because it's something I wanted to show you. Alright, so this is digital watercolor. We're going to jump to that in case you have to leave for some reason. Alright, so, well, this says, this is a broad water brush. Now, actually, I want to make this so it's, there we go. Alright. So this is a water brush. You see it kind of goes on here. I'll put the other color on and see what that does. And see, it's a little lighter when I go to the other color. And this one also picks up, okay, so that's kind of cool. It picks up different stuff. And this is a coarse dry brush, it says. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm making the brush strokes bigger so you guys can see them. So I have to wait. My little timer's telling me, ew, we need to adjust your brush size because you made it bigger. Just pretend I'm digging through my drawer of brushes to find the right one. It's just having a little lag right now. Hi, Max. We're just playing with my painter program here. I didn't make it that big, man. Come on. There it is. Okay, dry coarse brush. Oh, it's very light. I don't even know if you guys could see it. And if I press it darker, it goes darker. But it builds up the color and slides it around. And gets lighter or darker if I do it. So here's the pink color blending in. So I mean, if anybody's curious on the digital, this Corel Painter program has a lot of very it's very similar to using the real medium. It's kind of cool. So you can see how that builds up. This is a mop brush. And I don't do watercolor time, so I don't know. I'm not really familiar how it works. Some of these brushes, I don't know. So this is a mop brush. Let's see what that does. Okay, it's a lot darker. And I'll switch to the other color. Alright, that's a pretty solid color. You'd have to put a blender or water on here. Alright, this says coarse water. So this is a water brush. And wait till I get to some of the real, there's like a watercolor, digital watercolor, and there's a real watercolor. And actually the water affects it on some of these, so it's pretty cool. And since you're the watercolor, I mean, you're almost an expert in my mind on watercolor, so that's why I wanted to show these to you. I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh, this is one of them, if you kind of watch. When I first paint it, see how it's all dotty? Now watch what happens as soon as I lift the brush up. Do you see that? So that's the water in there. So there's all the dots. And then there it is blended with the water. So that's pretty cool. This is a fine tip water. 2. I don't know if it's 2 or, yeah, what difference is, but let's see. So this is a fine tip water brush. I think this is kind of like those pens with the water in them. I get like the really brilliant colors. But see, you can see I can like, just see how I can tap it and do like dabs. And the harder I tap, the more I tap. It's like water dotting out of them. So that's kind of cool. Like da 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 da. Tap party. This is a gentle, it's a wet eraser. So I'm going to assume that, see us, it doesn't affect the white paper, but it's going to affect the paint. So like I said before, some of these are just to react with other paint. So you see as I put this over here, it's like if I put paint down and now I'm going to like add some water to soften it up. That's kind of what that does. So that's a wet eraser. That's kind of cool. This is a diffuser, so I'm not sure this might, yeah, there's so much stuff I can play around with. Yeah, see this one too does not react with the paper, but it reacts with the paint. So it'll spread it out, and like see if I go from, what happens is if I, oh, it was great to have you. I know the time schedules are kind of hard, but you know, catch the replay when you wake up or something, and you can always fast forward to the section you want, right? Okay, thank you. All right, so like with this diffuser, if I start on the white and I bring it up, it goes white. If I start on the blue and I bring it down, it comes blue. If I start on the purple, so it's like whatever color you start on, even if it's the white paper, that's what that kind of brings over. So that's kind of cool. And good night, sweet dreams. And this is a simple water, so it's just kind of like a watered down paint. But that doesn't react too much. Hello. How are you, CJ? Oh, another. Here we go. I have CJ, Stephanie, and Tom. All right, so this is a pure water bristle. Let's see what this one does. Oh, you're seeing the painting in my scribbles. I'm just doing a medium test, you know, like trying out all my new paints and pens. Because I have, believe me or not, I haven't done it. Okay, so this pure water bristle does not affect the paper, doesn't have a color assigned to it, but it's gonna, it's gonna affect the other paint. So you can see it's smearing up there, and then as soon as I stop the stroke, it'll finish its effect. Watch. See? Oh, that one is hard to see. And once again, it's like if I come from the white, it'll bring white up. Hi, Allie. If I start from the purple, it's going to slide my purple over. Yes, it's dragging the color. Okay. Now, Tom, here is a salt setting. Is this cool or what? So this, obviously, if I put it on paper, there's nothing to it. Okay. But say I want to throw some salt. Okay, there you go. I want to throw some salt onto my watercolor. This is what's going to happen. Look at that. So, yeah, is that cool? So, I could put a bunch of salt. I could tap the salt. So, I have a salt setting. Yeah, it's pretty much kind of what the salt does. Like, it makes little like stars in the sky kind of like thing. I like that. That's cool. So that's what the salt does, and it just kind of blends it out, and it's all random on a stroke. So that was pretty cool. This is a well, I recently just looked up the price of this dang program, so it should be pretty cool. That's all I'm gonna say. But there's ones out there that do quite a bit that are free. If anybody ever wants to play around with them. Alright, so I have to keep trying to get my... This is a simple water. Oh, see, it's like... Oh, and then it spreads afterwards, you guys. So if I go really light, it's small. If I press it, and it makes like uneven splotches. Alright, so that's kind of cool. Like, it goes from light to dark. That's kind of cool. This is a blender. So, this one might not have a color to it. It might some blender... Oh, this blender does have color. But, see, it's blending. It's actually... I have the pink and the purple to show up against each other. But the blender is actually taking some of the purple that I have and blending them together with my bluish color. And then if I go here, it'll be blue, but it'll go into the purple. But it's blending it around. Here's a spatter. This is called water spatter. Oh, see, look at that, you guys. It's like the dots I made up here, but when I do the brush stroke, that's me just dragging my pencil across, like, it's just spattering water. And once again, it's using both the colors I have. And it goes really, if I go really light, it's together. Darker. The faster I go, there's more. The slower I go, not as much. And change to the other color and blend it in. It'd be pretty much the same. It just makes the pinks a little dominant. So that's kind of cool. Here's a speckled. Here, I'm going to erase a little bit up here. Let me. This watercolor category has a lot of brush variants. So we're going to just erase some of that. Okay. So this is a coarse dry brush. Oh, and you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I can see like the bristle brush stroke, the marks. And this is one that builds up color as you go. Lighter, dark, pressure sensitive. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. Hi! Hi, Mike. Welcome. Good to see you. This is a tapered diffuse water. Oh, see? As I light, press harder, dark, and it has the little variants of size. Yeah, it does, don't it? It makes it look like it's all full of stars. I think the salt's pretty cool. And it happens kind of quick, like here, like it starts with like a little speck and then it spreads. You can see it, like I can see it. It's probably hard for you to see when that happens. Let's see. Erase some more over here. These are so much fun. And look, my painting's dry already, and my paper's not curling. Alright, this is a sponge. This is a... Okay, so like I could make sponge marks with this. You can hear me tapping, like if I wanted to tap. And like the bigger... Let's see. Yeah, it's like tapping it into the thing. And the bigger the brush, the bigger the sponge. Like sponge painting. And this is a wet eraser. So see, once again, it doesn't affect the paper without, but it's just water, like erasing it. So I could take it through. So that was the digital watercolor category. Let's, all right, get another sheet of paper up here. I'm gonna make it so you guys can see it. Now, that was digital watercolor. I'm gonna skip down and go to real watercolor, and we'll see what the difference is. So this is a light bristle. I'm assuming the real watercolor should act more like really real watercolors, right? So here's a bristle. Let's see what happens. See? These are the ones that after I do the stroke, watch for them to change because it will react. Alright. Now watch, as I'm done, then the water takes effect. Here is a fractal wash fringe. So we'll see what this does. Alright, different sizes. And then it fades in. It's like soaking into the paper. It's just like that. So you can see, like, okay, I can see what I'm drawing. And then afterwards, it's absorbed into the paper. And with I'm not playing around with all these little levers. I can change how all that sort of reacts if I wanted to mess around with it to really fine-tune it for something. Let's put another color through there. And then it'll blend in. Okay. Hi, Sean. This is a grainy... Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's like all the stuff you can, like, effects and things you could do on here if you knew what you're doing. I'm getting there. Grainy wet. So, as I go harder or lighter, it goes darker. And let's see. There it goes into the paper. Do you see it change? And then we're going to go, this one, we'll blend it over. And there it goes. Yeah. And the papers, do I even have a watercolor paper texture? Let's see. I have different papers down here. So let me see if I can get, like, here's a coarse paper. So they kind of look a little different. It's kind of hard to tell. All right. This is it says light fringe. There is a brush, I believe, in here that I can wet the paper. Yes. There is. So like if you were putting on water onto a wet paper. I mean color onto a wet paper. Get another cup of coffee, Kath. All right, this is a fringe. Once again, it's a little variable, little brush stroke. And it's gonna kind of blend in. And you could see, I can see, I don't know if you can see, like it's just like on when you watercolor, how the outer edges sort of have like a outline almost. So it'll fade into the paper. Yeah, see it? And it and they're still reacting. If you look up here, you can see it reacts for a little while. Now this is a melted flow map. I have no idea what that does. The flow maps, you can change them. So basically, the texture of the paper, I can rotate it around to do different effects. Like I've seen people do like, they have the grains of the paper going this way, so it looks like rain falls or something. Or I haven't got into how to do all that stuff yet. So let's see. This one. This one doesn't change so much. Okay, there's a little bit of shading in through there. Yeah, I'll probably never know it all. Now this says noisy flow map. Oh, now it's changing. That one took a while. Look it. Oh. Now it's soaking into the grain. See, I have a coarse grainy paper. So now I thought it didn't do anything. So now the watercolor is going into my grainy paper, and you can see the grains on my paper. Oh, geez, check that out. I thought it was done and not doing anything. It just took a while. Woo! All right, let's see what this one does now. I'm excited to see what this one does. Okay. Once again, this is gonna be a slow reactor. Let's blend some in. Now we'll watch to see what happens. Oh, there it goes. I know, they're still changing. Like it's gonna all take time to like settle in. Like that's crazy. See, I didn't know it did any of this. All right. Fun, fun, fun. This is called Real Dirty Water. I guess, do you ever want to paint with dirty water? It's just like if I it's like if I rinsed. I'm getting a little delay because I'm not waiting for the reaction of the other stuff. This is literally like if I rinsed the two brushes that I'm using off in my water, and then I took my brush and just dipped it in my water that I rinsed my brushes out with and like colored it on there. That's crazy. Oh, it just takes whichever color I have selected as the dominant color. But it's just like dipping so it's dirty water. It's like dipping my brush into the dirty water. Alright, that makes a really cool like tie-dye effect. I like that. Do you ever do that, Tom? Do you ever just take like the water from your, swish bottle and like paint with it? Okay. Okay. You know what? I think I have to get rid of some of my paper. I didn't delete them. So let's do this. No, I don't again. I have this one. I didn't delete my papers. They're all layered under there. So it's telling me, you have too much stuff going on. Alright, there we go. We get a new sheet of paper. And I'm kind of liking, let's pick some watercolor paper. Horizontal chaos? Madness? Let's try madness. This paper's called Madness. So we'll see what happens. Alright. The size, we'll try and go over for you. I'm feeling a little mad. Alright, this is a fur sprayer. I really don't think you have one of these in your brush jar. Alright, let's see what it does. Oh, see how it drags out? It's like a little... And then that too goes into the paper. So whatever kind of paper you put on here, that's the grains that like the water color settles into. I don't know if this will go bigger or not. Yeah, I think this one is just what it is. That's pretty cool. And you see it settling into my Madness paper, and it gets all streaky because it's running down. And then look at this, you guys. Can you see right here how this color is dripping down? It's dripping down my paper. So like this color is bleeding down the paper into the other color, if you could see it right here. Alright. This is a pointed bristle. So this has some variation because of my paper, and there it goes bleeding into it. Let's see. Let's add another color. And the reason we see this variation is because of the paper I used, the Madness paper. The Madness paper, the grain has all that chaos going on. Yeah. And see, then you're going to build up here and form a darker color. This thing's still dripping up here. Alright. This is a real wet brush. Let's see how wet it is. How wet are you? Alright. See, that's going to start soaking in probably, I'm going to guess. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Oh yeah, it's starting to do something. This one's a slow one. Alright, we'll go on to the next one. This is a water sketcher. It's moving, it's just very slow. You can see it starting on the edges a little bit. I can get, I don't know how big I get. I could get super large. I'm just going to take a while with these because it's still doing the reaction up there. This isn't even as large as it can go. Hi! Yay! Look at Tom asked me to do something and now I have my little time clock waiting for it because I just kind of went around in a circle a couple times. And then when I have to go back down, it's going to take a while. There you go. See, it goes super big. Alright, this is a water sketcher on a large setting. On my crazy, oh no, the Madness paper. Okay. I'm good. How are you? So I'm not going to have patience for this now. I'm going to, look at me. I'm like, get out of there. And I'm going to restart it. Cancel. I think it locked up on me, you guys. Hang on. Oh, no, it didn't. Let's just... my computer. So look what you did, Tom. The large brush stroke and all the flow mapping got me all locked up here. It's like still reacting. It's saying no. Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing. I just went out of that program, please. And I can redo it again. Alright, there we go. Let's end this. And now, thank you, and we'll start it out again. Do not use 20 million brushes that use flow maps and diffusing at the same time because they work for 5 or 10 minutes after you're done painting them. That's a lesson right there. I'm just going through the different brushes and mediums and seeing what they do because I have absolutely no idea what they do. And so right now we were on, since Tom was here, I wanted to do the watercolors. So we were on these real watercolors. I was on the real watercolor sketcher. So back down to a littler size and see how it brushes right into the paper and you'll see the grain of my paper underneath. And these real watercolors act like watercolors, so even after I'm done, they're still changing. Yeah. And there's a setting here for my paper that I can make this grain in the paper bigger, smaller, and things like that too. Alright, this is a wet detail brush. Let's see what this one does. Okay. Ooh, now it's going light. And we'll blend this one through it. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's still reacting. You can see it kind of blending in. Alright. This is another flow map one. I know Stephanie needs to scope it. I keep telling her. Oh, that one went really fast. Let's go the other way. I see that one changed pretty fast. Alright. Real wet sponge. And you'll see it fade in as soon as I'm done. It's fading into the paper. There it goes. Very nice sponge effect though. Like I could sponge on top. So that's cool. Jitter smooth. That's what I said. Like, you know, when if you want to scope and you're not sure of it, set a time to a few people that you want to be there. Does it? I see. I've never played with Photoshop, and so that's the thing. But yeah, Stephanie, set a time for people that you'd like to be there, and then just do it private for a few of the group members, and get support and. Alright, this is a joke. You can really see the flow map, the texture on my paper with this one. color that in on top. Yeah, that's the paper. Because see, watch. If I come over here and let's switch to a different paper. Let's go to a coarse watercolor paper. Now it's not going to affect the, this is the cool thing, it's not going to affect the stuff I've already painted, but it should affect the new stuff I paint. So, if I wanted 2 different paper effects on one sheet of paper, I could do that too, which is impossible traditionally because, you know, you can't take 2 different textures of paper and put them together. So, I could do 2 different paper textures within the same painting, because if you change it, it won't affect it. Because this, yes, because this here, and this one here is the exact same brush strokes, just different paper. So that I didn't change anything except the paper between here and here. So they're the exact same ones. This is just on that Madness paper, and this is on a coarse watercolor paper. Alright. Here is a speckled, this is called speckled tiger lily. Alright, let's see. Oh, this one's fancy. Do you see the gray stuff is my brush variation speckling around? And blend those in. And then they're going to react. Like they're settling in there together. Okay. I want to clear some space up at the top. You can't erase real watercolor either. Not really. You kind of can, but it would like tear up your paper and be a mess. Alright. This is a runny palette knife. And so the way I turn my pen, as I'm turning my pen different directions, it's giving me a different line. Scrape down, scrape up, twist it to the side. Yeah. Scrape, scrape that way, scrape, scrape that way. Oh, this one's cool. I did play with this one before. This is a splatter. So I want to make it big so you guys can see it. I know it. This is fun. This is like being set loose in a entire art studio and saying, go ahead. Try everything out. Look at that. Splatter. Splat, splat, splat. Every time I hit it, it makes a different splat. So it's a random what's going to come out when I tap it. And then as I drag it, it makes random. Once again, if I go slow, it'll be darker and closer. And if I move fast, those are cool. And then this is a wet eraser. So it doesn't affect the paper, but it will wet erase You see it? It's just like taking a lightly watered brush and kind of, we'll go on the darker stuff here, and kind of scraping through it. It doesn't really pick up the color so much. It just kind of like wipes it off a little bit. Yeah. I can't put it on another part of the paper, but it very lightly. Yes. Yeah. Now see these. Everything's still reacting, and it's like making my little stylus leg a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's the only thing with those ones that really kind of, see that you could see it up here. It's still like the water I added is still like going through on there. All right. So we were at oils. I need to delete this, otherwise I'll run into that same problem I ran before. I do not want to save you. No. All right. Let me get a new one. And I'm going to do oils, so I really do not want that chaos paper. We will go to just a regular, we'll just go to the regular basic paper. All right. Okay. So, this is called Artist Oils. And we have a blender Bristol. So I don't know if this will have color in it or not. Yes, it does. You see, as I hold it here, I'll get a bunch of color. If I tap, color, color, color. And then if I swipe it, it only puts color every time I touch its paper. So if I leave it on the paper, it'll blend. Oh, no problem. I'm having fun. I have not investigated all this stuff yet. So I'm trying to see how these things work. Yeah, so if I touch it, I get color. If I do not pick my pen up from my tablet, it will blend the color that's already on the paper. So that's kind of cool. Alright, this is a blender palette knife. Well, I didn't do the other color with that. Sorry. Okay, once again, this does not affect the paper. Let me go back to the other one so I can get some color there. I'll show you. Get some color, blend it in, blah, 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 blah. Now, here's a palette knife that will blend. It just blends your colors. This is oils. So, and the good thing about digital oil, it doesn't take a day or two to dry. How about that one? Yeah, that's cool. So I could go to my next layer of oils and not have to wait 2 days for it to dry before I can work on it. That's the biggest complaint about oils, is waiting for your layers to dry so you could go to the next thing without messing it up. Okay, this is a bristle brush. Same thing, like as I go here, it's going to wear out. If I tap here, it only lasts for so long until I pick the, see, it's like I have a little bit of paint. As this color comes through here, it's like I still have a little paint. It's just like if I put my brush into some paint, and then if I come across the paint, it's like my brush hits it again. So it only adds new paint if I pick my brush up. Other than that, it just like will smear around the stuff I have. All right. Here's a dry palette knife. Once again, this one does not react on its own. It is simply to smear and scrape at the paint you already have on. So I'm just dragging the paint that's already on my paper and spreading it around. Oh, hi Rebecca. This is Corel Painter 2016, and I am just exploring my brushes and mediums and what they do because I really don't know. So that one's pretty cool, and it scrapes off, so it like scrapes off the paint to the one underneath a little bit. Alright, this is a grainy blender, it's called. So we're just kind of seeing what this program does, and so then I can kind of like envision, if I have an idea, I'll know kind of what I can and can't do and what to press. So once again, it's a blender, no color of its own, but it blends my colors here. So you can see it's just a different, it's like a brush without any color on it that I'm putting into the paint I've already painted on my canvas to, fade it in and out. Oh, well, there you go. See? This is a oily bristle, so this should have some color. But once again, see how it runs out? Unless I pick it up and put it down again. So it reacts very much like a paintbrush. And the colors will blend through. See? Oh, there you go. And see, this one here started out with some pink, and I picked up some of this darker bluish color, and it blended in. I just tried to pick two bright colors that I could contrast, hoping that you guys could see it. That's why I picked those. Alright, this is a real clumpy, broad bristle. And oh, this one's big. Oh. Let's see. Ooh! I don't think it's supposed to be that big. And it's still going. That is a big wash. Oh, I want it to go the other way. Alright. Smaller, smaller, smaller. You're taking up too much of my paper. Alright. That's a weird one to kind of use. Yeah, the oils are kind of cool, and I've never really oil painted before, so I do not know how they traditionally react. I mean, like maybe I did it in high school way back. So I am this would be a new adventure for me to like figure out how to oil paint. Oh, this one takes up a lot of memory. That brush was way too big. It's still blinking. It's still catching up with where I'm at. Oh, there we go. Tilt it. Put my paper back. I know. No, the brush was just big, so there was a lot of info that is like coursing through my computer right now. It'll catch up. We'll just have to talk for a minute before. Actually, the easier way probably would be to do this. Let's see if it does it. Hi, Faithfulness. Is your name Faith? That would be kind of cool. Oh. Yeah. Dry the paper. Hi, Faith. Okay, that's cool. I do not wish to save these changes on this paper. No, thank you. All right. That's the simplest way to shut that down. Just start new again. All right. New. Yes. Okay. That's a big brush. All right. Real clumpy broad bristle takes a lot of memory to use. That's what I'm getting. Okay, this is a grainy dry brush. All right, once again, see, yes, I could see you could see like individual, like, bristle stroke in this. It's not like a solid color. Let's bring this through. And then once again, if I come back and forth through the color, my brush will pick up the color that I'm running it through and blend it together. Oh, here's a fan brush. So I don't even know what all these brushes do. Honestly, I'm like, okay. This is a fan brush. I guess I could angle it different ways, kind of like the palette knife, because it has that symbol on it. Hi! Hi! We're just playing around, having some fun with my digital art box here. Seeing what this thing can do. Oh, that's pretty cool. Because it has all these brushes and mediums, and I don't even know what they all do. So I was like, yeah, we're just going to be like, we're going to run crazy in the art room. That's what it's like. It's like being set free in like this massive art room and just playing. Just go and play and touch with, anything that you see. All right, so this is a flat opaque brush. You can kind of see it up there. I don't want to tilt you back too bad. I'm trying to, up here, if you look, you can see what I'm using. Trying to get, yeah, you could kind of see it. I could see it, so. Alright. So once again, this one, if you turn it sideways or go up or down, you'll get the thin or the thick. But this one doesn't seem to, this brush doesn't seem, it's an opaque brush probably, that's why. But this one doesn't seem to run out like this one or blend the colors. This is a filbert brush, I guess. I don't know, is that a type of brush? And it's very light. Once again, if I tap, the more I tap it, the more paint is there. And this does pick up the brush. As long as I keep it on the paper, it'll smear it around. So tag, get color. It smears it through and blends it. That one's pretty cool. Very light on your color, but you could build it up. It's like for building it up, see? The more I go in the same spot, it kind of blends together and I could swirl it around. So that's a cool one. This is a Real Oil Short. Like I said, I've never done oil painting, so I don't know how, real it is. But once again, like, as I hit here, I could build it up, and it will drag it out. And it only adds color when I retouch it, when I touch it on the paper. To blend together. And as you go through it, it reacts to each other. So that's cool. This is a smeary. Yeah, they're kind of fun. You see how they like just blend together and it'll pick it up like it's real paint there, which is kind of cool. Alright, this is real smeary. Okay, well thanks for spending some time with us. Hope to see you around. This is not what I usually do, so I'm just playing around with this program because I don't know what it does yet. So check back. Once again, this one will blend through, and you can almost feel like the slippery oil in here. Like it just kind of sloshes around. Oh, thanks, Faith. That was cool. It is true. It's like you can almost feel like the slippery of the oil running through the paint, even though it's totally no paint in it or anything there. It's just this digital thing. And if you kind of like just keep your eye on the paper, it almost feels like you're drawing it on there. Alright, this is a tapered wet flat brush. And being wet, it is lighter and a little more smeary. So tap some color down here and blend it all the way across, and you can get your colors. Yeah, that is pretty cool. And this is a tapered oil. This is the last oils down here. Once again, this is one works where if I tap it, I have color. If not, it runs out. I can drag it through. If I add another color, it will start out original and it will blend with the color as I drag it through the other color. So it is fun. Oh, great! Go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna end up. I think I'm gonna end this and then I'll do a part 2. I'm gonna come right back and do a part 2, Stephanie. So if you want to come back, and we'll do a part 2, so that way each individual scope isn't like super long. And then Tom, you could just come back and you can watch like part 2 replay later if you want, and you won't have to like try to fast forward through all this stuff. How's that sound? Like I'm going to literally shut this down and come right back and just say part 2. Okay? So if you want to join me, come back. If not, you could catch the replay so that way you guys could check it out at your leisure if this has been too long. All right? Okay, so we are going to come back with a part 2 of our brushes, and we'll continue playing with my craft room here. And that way anybody who's here can just come back and catch the replay on part 2. All right. Have a good rest, Tom. I should be napping because I didn't go to sleep till 4 in the morning. I couldn't sleep last night. But I'm not tired. Just drink coffee. All right. So I'm going to stop this now. We'll come back with part 2. And literally, like, as long as it takes me to type in the title, I'll be back. Okay, guys.